Okay, so I'm over here in Port de Sóller. We're rolling towards the end of July into August for summer 2025, and you may well have seen in the mainstream newspapers that it seems that tourism is down on this side of the island in Sóller Old Town and also over here in Port de Sóller. Now I've just filmed over in Sóller Old Town. If I've made that video, I'll drop a link in the description text below. Go and check that out. If not, it'll be out very soon. But in this video, we're going to take a look at Port de Sóller during the summer. We're going to see how busy it is tonight and also what the atmosphere is like too. Plus, as a bonus, we may also catch the sunset too. So we've got to be quick. Let's turn the camera around and let's see what Port de Sóller is like tonight. So the church bells are ringing and the time is 8:15. We are right in the middle of dinner time over here in Port de Sóller. So let's take a walk down along the port and let's see what it's like this evening. So you can see I'm starting this video right at the far end of Port de Sóller, right where we can see the very start of the restaurants. And we're going to get an idea as to how busy they are for this summer, for 2025. But check out the light that we have over the port. The sun is currently setting at around 10 to 9 at the moment as we roll on into the end of July. So I'm hoping we're going to catch that sunset. Keep watching on into this video. Let's see how busy Port de Sóller is this evening. So, with the majority of day trippers have now packed up and left for the day trippers that have come down on the ferrocarril, on the wooden train down to Sóller Old Town and then on the tram down to Port de Sóller, I'd say that we're kind of left with mainly holidaymakers staying here for the night. Quite possibly we have a few day trippers hoping to get the bus back later or a taxi. But let's walk through the first of our restaurants this evening. We're coming up past the So Caprichos. This must have just opened. I mean, it's completely empty. They haven't got one customer sitting out on this very lovely terrace. What a shame. Just gonna look back, look, but not anybody sitting out at So Caprichos this evening. I mean, you still do get lovely views from this restaurant. I mean, just check this out. It's absolutely glorious. But let's keep heading on up and along this other little batch of restaurants here before heading down onto the waterfront. So we've just come up the steps here to the Can Ribas restaurant. And again, do you know what? I'm a little bit surprised. And I'll tell you why I am surprised, because, well, this is a Saturday night, and in resorts on a Saturday night, it's normally absolutely packed over here. But not this evening in Port de Sóller. We have plenty of tables empty, and I haven't seen it like this actually for I can't remember when, probably since the pandemic, I have to be honest. Just coming up by the very lovely Pirata, that's actually quite busy. A couple of people inside. Now I'm going to say, actually, if you are looking for a last-minute holiday to come over to Mallorca for this summer, then it may well be worth checking out availability for Port de Sóller, because, well, this is one of my very favourite and most loved areas of the island. It's absolutely wonderful down here, and you're gonna see more in this video too, just how absolutely glorious it is. At the beginning of the year, when I started filming for summer 2025 for the holiday season, we saw just how busy it was on the weekends and on the Sunday, and well, it still is, but on the Saturday night in July, well, we've got a little bit of life around here, but still there are many tables which are empty. And it was quite the opposite kind of experience that we had at the beginning of the summer season. It was very, very busy down here. So just looking over to my right hand side, you can see the sun is beginning to dip down as we come back to the back of these restaurants here. Now the most telling sign for busyness is going to be taking a look at the tram, and I can see one just coming in now. So the video that I have just made over in Sóller Old Town talks about maybe the best time to visit Sóller Old Town. Go and check that out. But I'm actually looking now, and I think quite possibly one of the best times to come down to Port de Sóller is on an evening, because, well, the last train will have now gone back to Palma from Sóller Old Town. and it's not as busy at all as we've seen for, well, just the rest of the year. I mean, it's a very, very normal experience here. It's not overcrowded. You may well have seen my previous videos back in April as to how crowded the tram was and the swarms of people that we had down here, but not on the Saturday evening in July. And look, we've just seen one tram break away from the others. I suspect that's going to be one of the last trams back in the evening. They do go every half an hour. We'll just get a quick idea of times in just a second, but check this out. I never ever thought I'd see this. I am so surprised to be down here outside the tram station and seeing so few holiday makers down here. But like I said, it is in the evening and the majority of day trippers have now left for the day. Okay, so just taking a quick look at the tram stop here. Look, these are the times of the Ferrocarril wooden train. And you can see here that the last tram back to Sóller Old Town is at 9:05. So if you want to see the Sóller tram looking pretty much like it did probably back in the 1960s or the 1970s, come on the Saturday evening and this is what you'll see. But we just do not have the swathes of people, the swarms of people, the tidal wave of people that we normally have down here during the day. Anyway, let's keep walking along the waterfront. And check this out as well, look, the breakaway tram here, it looks like it's heading on back without any passengers, back on the route back to Sóller Old Town. Obviously they're not expecting many people to ride one of these later trains this evening, but that's not all, because looking to my left hand side to one of the ice cream shops here in Port de Sóller, and we don't have the queues either in the evening. Admittedly we're edging our way towards 8 o'clock, but during the day here we have such long queues. But without these queues it's going to mean that even I'm going to be able to get an ice cream this evening. Oh, and he's heading back. This must be the driving part of the train here, look. This must be the part of the tram which actually pulls the coaches. Look, and it's rearranged itself to take back those holiday makers. Love it, get to see a little bit of the tram in action tonight. But in the meantime, let's keep going. Let's head on down to the water. Just looking down across the water this evening and along the waterfront too. And we have just a few people sitting out having a few cocktails this evening. It's not busy by any means, but let's go and take a quick look at the beach. And we see the tram heading on back to Sóller. Okay, so we are just coming up to the beach. Quite a few people still on the beach over here in Port de Sóller this evening. I have to say, this is such a wonderful experience. I absolutely love Port de Sóller at this time of the evening, but with the very high temperatures that we've had today, well, actually not so high considering the temperatures we have had during July. I think we've had highs today of about 29 or 30 degrees. But we can see plenty of people staying out on the sand. Plus, I'm filming this on the Saturday. You can see a residents' party on the beach too. But look, just looking back at the restaurants here, look. So I'm outside the Fête de Sóller, that's the ice cream shop. Just panning around to the restaurant underneath the Fergus Hotel. And it's just not busy. I'm pretty sure it was much busier down here last time I was here in April, which actually almost put me off coming back until now. So we're just looking back at the sun here. Look, we're just seeing it's on its way down. But we're going to keep on walking along the waterfront here. I'm going to show you maybe the best place to see the sunset. So just looking over the beach here, look, just check out how many people we still have on the beach at this time of the day. I must say they have rather blanketed the beach with sunbeds and beach umbrellas down here. There isn't as much space on the sand as you'll find in many other resorts. And just for reference as well, 2 sunbeds and the beach umbrella at €18.15 for this summer. So we're just coming up towards the Eden Hotel and the restaurants which lie beneath. Again, not completely packed. Not for this evening anyway. But there is a really, really buzzy atmosphere over here, and to my right hand side as well I saw a huge kids' birthday party. But this whole resort here, this whole town really does take on a completely different feel when that last train has gone back to Palma. And it's, in my opinion, a much more pleasant experience too. And I'm just going to more or less stand still here just so you can get an idea of how busy it is in Port de Sóller this evening. Still more people on the beach too, down on this side of Port de Sóller. Lots of people out walking too. I'm just standing outside of the Pont de Nuit. I thought this would be quite busy actually, but there's 3 customers in here. I mean, we're right on the edge of one of the best sunset spots on the island. I mean, just take a look to my right hand side, because just in a second here, look, in a few minutes we're going to get some amazing views of the sun setting from over here. And I'm so surprised not to see barely anybody in this cafe here. And as we walk down a little bit further, it does start to feel like it's getting a little bit busier here. Oh gosh, they've got the sunset music on the go here. I'm right outside of the Sant Sol. Oh, this is definitely where the party is at this evening. For those empty bars a little bit further back, you're seeing a completely different experience from over here. And as we come up to another sunset point here as well, we can see a few other bars looking quite busy. Not as many people as I've seen in the past down here, but a fair few waiting to get the shots of the sun setting. So we're just taking a look out to the water here. We can see the sun is going to be setting over the Esfargos lighthouse. In June, actually, you're going to find the sun setting a little bit more in the centre. At this time of year, at the end of July, where we saw the slightly emptier bar a little bit further back, that's probably the prime place to go. But you can see most people seem to have come down here as well to get that Instagram shot of the sun setting. But anyway, let's see if we can make it back for sunset. But first, we're going to have a quick look down on the Repic beach side of Port de Sóller this evening. And just taking a sweeping look along this side of the beach. It's a little bit rockier down here. You find this part of Port de Sóller beach to be a lot rockier, but still a great place to come and enjoy the views. So we're just coming up past the Esplendido, which doesn't have one single table taken this evening. No, I tell a lie, we do have one couple sitting outside, but once again, I'm a little bit surprised. I'm pretty sure this area used to be a lot busier in previous summers. And at this time of the evening too. Let me just have a quick pan round. No, look, just one table taken outside the Esplendido. Maybe this is normal for this time of year, but it's not something that I've seen. Comment below as well if you're a resident in Port de Sóller. Let me know what your opinion is of summer 2025. And I'm just going to turn the camera around as well, just looking back down the waterfront. Let's keep on heading on in the direction of Repic Beach. So we have a little cluster of restaurants over on the far side here, just before Repic Beach. A few people sitting out. But as we head on in the direction of Repic Beach, we can see this is being plunged into the shade. We're going to hit the shade soon, but we're going to see how busy it is down here too. And just look at the views from here. Look, the sun is just dipping down over the hillside. Check this out, how absolutely gorgeous this evening. Seems to have a fair few people heading on to and from Repic Beach. And this whole area here, right behind the beach, this whole waterfront area is lined with restaurants. We're going to walk through now. We're going to see how busy they are. So I remember last year, around this time actually, coming out to Port de Soyer for dinner, and it was a little bit busier, I have to say. It did feel a lot busier down here. Just as in the heart of the port where we started this video, look, we've got plenty of empty tables. And we're right in front of the Marina Playa apartments here, look. Lots of availability here this evening. So I do love the Repic beach side to come to for dinner because, well, you're just not in the sunshine here. It is it's a lovely spot to come in. It's nice and shaded, but not quite the busy July I was expecting. Now, like I said, go and check out availability. Are hotels booked out down here? It could well be the case, I don't know. But if I was looking for a last minute deal over to Mallorca this summer, I'll certainly be looking at breaks away to Port de Soyer. Now, it's a lot busier as we're coming along to the far end. And even on the beach as well, look, got plenty of people down here on the beach. So I did head back to the sunset point, and here is a sneak peek as to how glorious this looked. But there is a part 2 to this video where we see a different side to Soyer Port after the sun has set. So subscribe to the channel to catch that video, because not everything in this video is as it seems. But in the meantime, so I wasn't expecting to say how quiet it is down here in Port de Soyer in July, but it is quiet. It does feel quiet and is visibly quiet too. Maybe it's normal, maybe it's not, but let me know your experience of visiting here this summer in 2025 in the comments below. Also, let me know as well if you managed to get a really good deal coming over here for this summer. I'd love to hear about it. But what an absolutely lovely experience it is being over here in Port de Soyer this evening. And if you would like to see how this compares to April in Soyer, check out this video appearing here, filmed in the daytime. Also check out this video appearing here to help you out with your holiday. Okay, don't forget you can find me on the Facebook group and on my Instagram, also called Mallorca Under the Sun, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Goodbye for now.